All right, we are live. We are back. What's going on? A little bit of technical issues this morning, but we are live. We are here. Welcome in, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Audio check. Audio check. 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Beautiful. Welcome in, guys. How is everybody doing? What's going on right now? What's going on right now? I'm going to tell you right now. Everyone's here. If you are a futures trader, this is your time to shine right now. It's this 592 break and retest. It's here. This is it, right? We're staring at it right now. The level of the day today is 592. I'm saying it right now as we are here right now. Pre-market 592 is your level. That's your long spot, in my opinion, right? This is where market has to hold for upside today. Big level, big push in the pre-market session. Nvidia going crazy pre-market. I mean, I don't want to say pre-market. It was mostly after hours where it went crazy. But nice open on Nvidia. Finally, a big push. We are up on the shares now. I mean, what are we up from yesterday's highs? You're up about another 4%, 4% equity move. So decent push on Nvidia. We're going to talk about Nvidia today being a focal point of our session today. We're going to be talking specifically about what we can do in Nvidia. Where's the bounce opportunity? Where's the pullback long opportunity? And we're going to talk about Amazon. Someone already saying it. I got smacked in Amazon yesterday too. Amazon, it wanted to do it too. It really did. You can see the move yesterday over that 206.50 level. It wanted it, right? It definitely wanted to do it. It had all the reasons to go, and then boom, failed it, right? Failed it after failing over 206, and then now, of course, pre-market session. Now it's giving us a little middle finger. It's up at 208.50 in the pre-market session. So we'll talk about Amazon today. I don't really intend on trading Amazon. Yesterday's session really was horrible, right? On this chart was it gave all the reasons for upside. Beautiful technical breakout level yesterday, and then obviously failed it. So today's session, does Amazon work here at 206.50? I'm probably going to say yeah, it does. It probably does. We'll go over this chart again. But this is the level. And yeah, nice job, Tony. SPY, of course. We'll talk about SPY. We'll talk about the levels in SPY. Yesterday, good mindset. I think Amazon was a little choppy, but the pullback long yesterday was the right idea on SPY. It just took a long time, right? Market pulled back the demand, and the problem with yesterday's session was if you didn't have patience, you probably walked away with a pretty choppy session, right? And that was me. I walked away with a pretty choppy session. I had a really good Tuesday, Wednesday session, and I ended up. I think I closed yesterday's session down about $1,000, which is not bad in the scheme of things. But the reality of this is we did what we said, right? We pulled back to demand yesterday. We talked about the demand hold at 589 being a technical hold spot in the market. We bounced off of it several times, but look how long this took yesterday's session. Look how long it took for that bounce to actually occur. From 10:30 in the afternoon, or in the morning, really, 10:30 in the morning, all the way until around basically 2 hours and 40 minutes for this trade to work, right? So again, yesterday's session, not the easiest of sessions, and now you're seeing the firework come in the pre-market. So we'll talk about this, guys. A lot to go over this morning, and this is like the reason why I do these pre-markets. The reason why I do these pre-markets is the reason why this is so important is because live trading signals. These are good, right? I'm sure they're good. Okay, they're good. They're bad. Mostly they're good. Okay, but the reality is how the hell are you supposed to hold a trade for this long if you don't know the levels? The reason why we use pre-markets is so you guys know the levels. You guys can trade on your own and not have to rely on signals, right? That's the most important reason why. I know literally in the description is live trade with us, right? And this is the worst advertisement for live trading. You don't need it, right? You really don't need it. You can literally just follow the levels. You don't need any of it, right? Obviously, live trading is good. You could good to learn from, but the levels are the most important part, right? That's it, right? 589 was the level yesterday. If you knew that going into yesterday's session, you were good, right? It was choppy, but you were good. Anyway, we're gonna dive into it. Let's talk about our econ data, earnings reports, and we'll go back into our charts. So today's session, Thursday, May the 29th. Obviously, big data session today. GDP pre-market about 7 minutes ago. Jobless claims also 7 minutes ago. So we'll talk about that. We have some data today at 12 o'clock. We have EIA petroleum status report at 12 o'clock. That's pretty much all we have going into our session today. So pretty much the bulk of the day. Oh, pending home sales, 10 o'clock. So pending home sales, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock data, and then obviously you have GDP this morning and jobless claims this morning. So that is what's on the docket. Obviously, this session is pretty big in terms of econ data. Not something I was anticipating. And then going into Friday session, we PCE. We have our personal income and outlays, so just be careful of that. And then Chicago PMI 945 and consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So big data session today and tomorrow. I honestly was not really expecting it. I think it's because we didn't go over this yesterday. I think that's why I wasn't really anticipating this big data today. But yes, big data today. Be careful of that going into our session this morning, okay? In terms of earnings reports, on the earnings reports, if it can load for us, there we are. On the earnings reports, the biggest release from this week was released yesterday, after our session, Nvidia. Nvidia is one we've been talking about for a long time. I hope if there's one thing that you guys have learned from these pre-markets, you learned from me, from Aristotle, Mike, Rav, or any of us, or Midas, I hope that you guys picked up Nvidia shares, right? And at this moment, we now have to start kind of coming up with an exit strategy or an exit plan. So we'll talk a little bit about what my exit strategy is, because this is what we've been working towards. It sounds crazy, but now it's time to start creating the exit plan and getting our exit, right? And I'm not going to be selling all of it, but we'll talk about that today. We'll talk about the larger time frame on NVIDIA. We'll go over CRM. We'll talk about C3 AI. And then Thursday session, obviously today, we have in the after hours, we have Costco, we have Cost. We have Dell in the after hours as well. I don't know who's trading Dell, but if you are trading Dell, just be careful of that. And that's all we have to finish off the week for the earnings season, the earnings week today. Okay, let's dive into our charts. We will go over everything, and the most important thing right in front of us is actually going to be this level we're at right now. It's 592. So we're going to talk about this in a second. Let me just get a quick refresh here. We have 197 likes. And we have 970 viewers. Guys, let's get the like count up. If you guys are not subscribed, also subscribe if you can. Let's move on. Okay, so SPY chart. On the SPY chart, the level that we talked about yesterday was 592, right? We said the big resistance is 592. If we can see a break and hold above 592, we can look for longs back into AC. By the way, AC Adams, thank you, man. You're crazy. Blame Brett. Yeah, you can blame me. AC Adams, 592, obviously big level, right? That's a level we have to break above. We broke above it in the early morning session. And what really caused the downside yesterday? Ask yourself this: why did breakouts not work yesterday? Why did the market suddenly look from bullish back to bearish very quickly? Well, the reason why was because we basically just broke above 592 and we failed quickly back under 592. It was just a big whim wham, right? Whim wham, bull bear, okay? Now, even though we did get that little bear slag yesterday, right? There was a little bit of a bear slag yesterday's session. Our mindset was more structured to be bullish because we talked about the idea that even if the market does pull back into 589, into 586, into 580, that those are your three long spots in the market. And we said, if the market pulls back to any of these demands, we're going to look for longs back in those demands. So even though the market failed supply yesterday, failed supply 592, break and failure, right? We moved back down to our first layer of demand, which was 589. And yesterday's session, all you had to do was just simply long 589. So if you lost money on breakouts early morning in the session, let's just say you took Amazon. I took almost a $2,500 loss on Amazon. Well, you could have taken SPY long and you would have made a little bit of money back, right? You're not going to make it all back, right? But you're going to make a little bit of it back, maybe equal magnitude or maybe a little bit less than that, and you make back a little bit of money off the 589. That was yesterday's session. Was okay. Well, the breakouts didn't work, but the demand still worked, which was a good play yesterday. So even though yesterday's session was choppy, there was some good in the price action. That was the fact that we did hold our levels well. Even though it was choppy, we held our levels well. Now this morning session, the big level to watch out for, and this is now kind of dangerous here, is going to be where we're at right now. It's 592. The reason why 592 is so important is because if you go to the 1 hour time frame, let's just do the 15-minute time frame so you can really see it. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, the level that we must hold is here, right? It's right here, right? It's 592. It's 592. It's that Tuesday high. It's 592. It's that Wednesday whim wham level, the whim wham level, right? It's 592. What must hold today for bull case is going to be 592. If we are under 592, I don't really have much interest in going long today. Transparently, I think if we lose 592, I think we can see another whim wham, right? And we see that little failure move down lower, right? And even this wouldn't necessarily be bearish, right? Yes, there is some bear side here. Yes, we'll see some red candles, but we're only going to move back down to 586 probably, right? I would say 586 is a good target for our shorts if we do fail back under 592. So the mindset you should really have today is you should say, you know what, we're bullish right now, right in the market. Even though we see a little big upside move and a pullback, we are bullish right now. We are bullish. Don't confuse it, right? We are still bullish even though we're pulling back in the pre-market session. We're pulling back into demand here, right? We're pulling back into the station. This is the bull station. If we fail back under 592, we're back at the bear station and we look for a move back lower, back into under 589, back into 586. So what I would say today's session is simply just respect 592. That's the most important level to have in your charts. If we are above 592, we are bullish. If we are below 592, we are still bullish, but moving down lower, right? Moving down lower to 586, which again would be the next big level to watch out for. Okay, so that would be an appropriate way to combat today's session. I think just use 592 as your level in this morning session. If we hold 592 today, and this is perhaps the best break and retest long entry right in front of us, right? Just seriously, this is it, right? If there was any moment to be long in the market, it's this right here. It's right in front of us. It's the break. It's the retest 592. It's somewhere here for the upside play back in the highs. That's it, right? That's really what has to happen today for bulls. If bulls are gonna work today, this is it, right? This is what's got to happen. Yes, we do have support here at 589, 590. That's where we went long yesterday in spot. It was our long spot yesterday. But the real level this morning is simply 592. On the ES chart, the level again is 5950, right? It is so simple here, guys, on the ES chart. I would argue if you want to make it a little bit of a zone here just to make it more fun, right? You can say the zone is simply that pre-market high from Wednesday session. You see that Wednesday high, that Wednesday pre-market high. It's around 59.44 on the ES chart. So encapsulate that whole zone, and that's your level today, right? Your level today simply on the ES chart is 5950 to 5944. That's where we're sitting at right now in the pre-market session. This right now is your long spot. If we can hold this is a nice upside trade, right? That's probably the top watch for today for bulls. If we fail back lower today under 5944, in which case this would also be a break under 592, then of course we fail lower. In fact, we probably fail lower into 5924, which was again our bounce area from yesterday's session. And then under 5924, we go back down into 5870. So those are your levels today, guys. It's actually a pretty simple session this morning, right? Yes, yesterday was a festivity of BS, right? Seriously, it was. It was horrible price action, but the levels maintained. Today's session, just follow levels and you probably will be okay. That's what it's all about. Okay, so again, follow levels and you'll be okay. On the QQQ chart, on the Qs chart, what did we say yesterday, right? And this is part of the reason why I think Amazon early morning didn't work, right? Again, obviously this is the reason why it didn't work was because what did we say yesterday? We said, hey, if we are above 52250, we are so happy. We're looking for longs on the Qs. If we are below 52250, we will fail lower, right? And what the market did yesterday was we broke above 52250. We saw a little upside push, right? Nice little upside push. And then all of a sudden at 9:45, this red candle came in. And this red candle came in and completely flipped the market from being a bull side market to a bear side market. One candle completely changed the sentiment. One 5-minute candle completely changed the sentiment of the day. That's where we saw a little bit of some downside come in. But again, did it really work, right? Did we see like a big bearish move? No, right? Even though we saw the little upside break and fail, we didn't really see much bear side momentum either. That's why yesterday's price action was a little bit tricky, was because the fact that even though we did fail supply, it's not like we saw a big downside move either, right? The market just pulled back to 520 in the Qs, our pre-market low in the Qs, and we just found support off of it all day, right? So no real movement yesterday on the Qs after failing supply. Now, the question becomes today is what's your long spot today in the Qs? What should we be looking for in the Qs? Well, the first thing to notice, and you guys can probably see it with me as well. Black Trump, thank you, man. You are crazy, man. You are absolutely a maniac. But thank you very much, crazy guy. Uh, on the Qs, on the QQQ, do you guys notice this as well, right? I mean, just look at this with me. You're going to see the fact that QQQ obviously is a little bit stronger than SPY. Ask yourself that. Why is QQQ stronger than SPY? Well, the reason, let's just prove it to, let's just prove it to people who don't believe it, right? The reason why Qs are a bit stronger than SPY right now is the fact that if you do a measurement from this candle high here from Wednesday, right? And you go to where we're at right now, it's about a 0.6%, 0.68% upside here from that candle high to where we are right now here at pre-market, right? Now, if you compare that to SPY's chart, what is it on SPY's chart? Please don't tell me I'm wrong here, because if I'm wrong, I look like an idiot. No, I'm not wrong. Okay, so I'm not wrong here, right? So you are seeing that obviously, and look at this, guys. Look at what's going on right now here on the SPY chart. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, come on. This is just the break and retest right now. This is your long entry right here on the ES chart, on the SPY chart. This is it right in front of us. But again, on the QQQ, right? On the Qs is obviously stronger than the overall market, than overall SPY, right? Then stronger than SPY. And the reason why is probably because you have some tech names that are ripping. Hey, if you're confused what tech name is ripping, take a look at the description of this video, right? It's simply just Nvidia, right? Nvidia is moving higher, right? So it's causing tech and Qs to be stronger. If you're watching for a pullback long today, right? What level should you be watching for on the QQQ? Well, look at this right now with your eyes. Look at this right now. Look at what's going on. 522.50 is your long spot on the QQQ. So if you have any confusion trading SPY today, right? Let's just say for example, you get a little break and retest on SPY, right? You see a little bit of a long entry here at 522, right? You bam, little for 592, a little upside move, bam, you make some money in this, right? You're happy. Then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, wait a second. Are we bearish now? You think you're going to enter puts because you think we're failing back under 592, which arguably would be true if you're just watching SPY. But if you see suddenly that you're about to enter puts on the SPY chart, and you see, oh my God, what's happening with the Qs? QQQ just pulled back to 593 and start 523 and starts doing this. You do not want to be short the SPY chart today. So again, I want you guys not only to watch SPY chart, but also to watch the Qs chart today, because QQQ has the most incredible level today at 523. 523 to 522.50 is your long spot here on the Qs. Watch out for this today. If we can pull back to this level, that is simply your long level, right? If we are above 522.50, we are long. If the QQQ does fail this level though, okay, if we do fail this level, I have no interest in longing anything. I think if this fails, we don't long anything. In fact, we don't long even SPY. We just let this sell and let everything sell off. This is your level. This is your line in the sand. This is your alert zone. Okay, 522 is your panic zone. If we lose 522 to 523, that zone, that dollar zone, don't long the market. I think we fell back lower to 517, maybe even back to 512 and get that gap fill lower. So again, the level to watch this morning is simply just 523 to 522 on the QQQ chart. Okay. And yes, Fancy, thank you. Of course, I'll go over NQ. On the NQ chart, it again, right, is 21,555, right? This is that level we spoke about yesterday as well. We spoke about this NQ level. Yesterday, I mean, it's kind of curious to see what happened. I mean, this is interesting because I spoke about the fact that Qs broke our level. Right, we said that QQ broke our level, that 522.50. But if you look at NQ, it really didn't, right? It really didn't. Look at what NQ did yesterday. NQ simply just pulled into our 21,555, right, and failed off of it pretty aggressively, right? No closure above the level, no strength, no conviction, right? And we just faded off that level. So interesting to see that the NQ never actually broke and cleared our level of resistance here. And this morning, obviously, we are above that resistance zone. We are above it. We turned it to support now. The level to watch out for today's session on the NQ, on the QQQ, is going to be simply just, again, the same thing as Qs, is going to be watch to see if we can get a pullback long here at 21,555. If we can pull back here, that's your long spot for upside play, right? That's your beautiful break and retest here in the NQ. If we fail back below this level though, this is the golden zone. If we fail back below the golden zone, then I would have no interest in longing the market right now, right? I think if we fail back below this 21,555, right, maybe give it a few dollars underneath just to be safe. But if you fail back below this level, that is your short play and a downside move back into 21,000 NQ. So again, the level this morning on the NQ is simply 21,555. Okay, that's the big level to watch out for here on the SPY, ES, QQQ, NQ. And now we are going to move on to our individual tickers of the day. Let's first talk about Nvidia. So we have 1,300 people here this morning. That's awesome. First of all, thank you guys for joining. And this is really, I love that. I love that we have so many people here. It's really cool to see everyone here. Like that just makes me happy that everyone's here. That's awesome. All right. So on the Nvidia chart. So for months and weeks, we've been in the gutter. They left us in the gutter. We were in the mud, in the trenches, guerrilla warfare on Nvidia for months. They were dragging us all over the place. They called us names. They said Nvidia is not going to. Nvidia is overvalued, right? The tariffs are going to destroy Nvidia. And now we are here. We are here, and we can be a little triumphant now. We can start tooting our horns a little bit, and we can have our little parade now. Why? Because Nvidia is at our target, okay? And I am selling. I took my first layer of sells this morning on Nvidia. I sold about 40% of my position here in Nvidia. Why am I selling Nvidia, right? Why did I take my first layer of sells? Why? Because I am selling into these previous highs here, 143, right? 143 is my level of resistance here on Nvidia. You can sell pre-market, guys, by the way. For equity, you can go on your phone and you could sell pre-market. You could sell shares pre-market without having to worry about market open. So I've sold about a large chunk of my position this morning around 8 o'clock. Or I think it was like 750, I think I sold. But again, 143 is that big pivot. 143, the next level that I'm looking to take sales at is going to be an all-time high push, right? If we can get back into 153, I think I'll take more sales there, right? 153 plus is my target here on Nvidia. But the reason why I sold some here is because with every extension move higher, with any stock, right? Anytime you see an extension move higher, you should expect pullbacks, right? So even though I am still bullish on Nvidia, I would expect Nvidia to pull back at some point, right? I would expect it to pull back to 137, right? For a pullback long, at least 137. That would be your first pullback long here in Nvidia. And I want to be out some shares. So I can now move on and move my money to other parts, to other undervalued names. Even though I still think Nvidia probably goes to 160 plus, it probably does. It's important you take exposure off, especially if you were building shares back in this area over here. It's important to be selling back into these highs over here. These highs are your target for bulls. From an unbiased technical standpoint, if you were long here, you were long here, you were long here, you were long on the bull flag, on this little flag breakout, right? Well, where is your take profit? Your take profit should simply be between here and here. Those are your two take profits, right? From a technical standpoint, it's exactly what you're doing, right? You're selling back into 143, you're selling back into 154, right? So again, today's session, I think it's all about just taking some profit off of Nvidia, right? And looking for pullbacks at 137 for short term. For short term, right? For the short term, and let's jump into short term stuff now. On the short term, what we must do on Nvidia is going to be It's going to be 137. 137 is your level here in Nvidia, right? So what I would watch out for on Nvidia is I look to see, can we pull back to 137, 138? If we do, that's your pullback long. Is this a fairy tale? I think, to be honest with you, I'm selling you guys a pipe dream here. I don't know if Nvidia is going to do this. This may be a pipe dream level. What does that mean? It means I don't think it's going to pull back this level because that would be just too easy. Okay, this would be too easy of a pullback. 137, 137, 137, 137. Is it a pipe dream? Possibly. Okay, 137 though is your level to watch out for today in the short term. Watch that level for long side trades. If you pull back there, that's it. That's your long spot, right? So again, 137 big demand. 143 big supply. If you're looking for aggressive break and retest today, your only aggressive break and retest is going to be a break and hold above 143. That's your upside break and retest trade. If this happens, then if we break 143 with conviction today, we probably see 150, which would be crazy. I've seen crazier things on the video though. Don't be surprised if that happens. And the Nvidia though is a big name though, so it's hard to move. It's hard to move like that. But again, 143 break and retest, or the 137 pullback long, that's what I'd watch today in Nvidia's chart. And again, this would be an aggressive trade. This would be more of a conservative based trade. Okay, that's what I'd watch here on the Nvidia chart. Right, spliff, of course, man. Yep, 592. That's the big level. 592 is the level on the SPY chart. And DJ Prices, thank you, man. Hopefully that's coming out of some nice Nvidia, share profit, right? Hopefully it's coming out of Nvidia share profit. I mean, hopefully this is like this to me. This is like the day I've been waiting for. And it's a good day. Anyway, so AMD a little bit lagging today. Even though Nvidia is beating earnings, AMD is not showing that much strength, not showing that much conviction. I do think AMD is bullish though. AMD has to reclaim 116 for bull side. 116, 116, 116, 116. If we do break 116, I think we could see upside. It's actually interesting because you do notice like this price action over here reminds me what's happening right now on AMD. So if we do see the retention over 116, that's your long opportunity, and then move back to 118. So look for that today. AMD above 116 for longs. Okay. SMH on the SMH chart. Level to watch out for now on the SMH. Remember we said yesterday it was 246. Look at 246. Right. Just look how beautiful 246 was. 246, 246. Now we are above 246. Today's session is about 246 again, but we're also going to add another level here today on the SMH. It's also about 248.50, right? 248.50, these series of highs, obviously being a level, right? You have highs, and you have highs here. Let's see how the SMH reacts to 248.50. I don't really have a trade here today, guys. I'm not going to talk about trades in SMH, but I would say the level of demand here is 248.50 and 246. Okay. On the Avgo chart, Avgo also moving higher today with Nvidia earnings being posted higher. What I'd watch for on the Avgo chart is there's a really nice retest level. I'm sure you guys probably know what I'm going to say here, but if you just reset your chart for a second and you zoom in, you're going to find that there's a really nice retest at 238. So if we do see a pullback long today on the Avgo chart with 238, that should be your long spot. Very simple chart here. I mean, just look how beautiful this chart is, right? So keep an eye on Avgo. I know again this may be a pipe dream. Sometimes I sell pipe dreams, and today that's what I'm doing, right? 238, that would be your pipe dream level. Look for longs there. If we do pull back, that's what I'll be watching out for today on Avgo. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Let's talk about a little bit of we've had a little bit too much fun this morning. Let's bring in a little bit of some anger and frustration. Amazon. So Amazon. Just so we can understand what's going on here in Amazon. Look at this chart here, and these are losses that you sometimes just have to take, right? And this is so important. You guys must understand this. Look at this chart in front of us. Look at the consolidation here. You see a consolidation, a consolidation, a consolidation, a consolidation, right? Under 206.50. Now, what happened on Amazon? On Amazon, look at what we did on Amazon's chart. Just take a second and look at what happened here, right? If I could not be here right now on YouTube, and if I did not take this trade, right? If I did not take this trade here, Amazon 20650, I cannot call myself a breaking retest trader. I simply would not be able to call myself a break. It would be disservice to myself. It would be disservice to people, you guys listening. I would be a fraud if I didn't take this trade, right? This was the breaking retest on Amazon, the perfect push and pull back long to 20650 for a long side opportunity upside trade. Now, what happened on Amazon was obviously, bam, right? Where is it? Bam, failed right back under 206.50. I stopped at under 206 and lost about 20% of this trade. Again, I want you guys to understand what a good loss is versus what a bad loss is. This was a good loss, right? This was an absolute good loss. And if you took a loss in this trade, you're okay. And someone said there was no confirmation. I'll show you confirmation. You want to see confirmation? I'll show you confirmation right in front of you, right? The confirmation for me on Amazon was this candle right here, right? That's confirmation. By all means, that's your confirmation candle here at 932, right? That was a long opportunity. There absolutely was confirmation there. But again, people draw confirmation through different parts. Again, if you're looking for 15-minute confirmation, obviously they didn't give you that. But again, for me, my confirmation was there. Trade didn't work. Today's session on Amazon. What I would watch for in Amazon today is I would still watch that same exact level. If we can pull back today to 20650, that should be your long spot. Now, again, look for confirmation here. If we can pull back to 20650 today, 20650, 206 today, that should be your long opportunity. Again, look for confirmation. Yesterday, maybe you needed more confirmation. Maybe more confirmation would have been better in this scenario. So look for an extra layer of confirmation if that's what works for you, and look to see if you can set up longs off this level. The level, though, on Amazon is simply just 20650. The level, the level, the level. That's your level today going into this morning session. Look for longs there. If we do hold, that's your long spot. If we fail back below 206 today, if you fail back below 206, we go back into 202. That's it. That's what we have here in Amazon. Okay. Apple chart. On the Apple chart, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good, right? That's not what you want to see. Look at what's going on here at Apple. I mean, that is not really so good. I don't like the fact that we're failing this 207 supply right now. To me, that's not necessarily that bullish, right? 207 is a big supply. Be careful of 207, right? Be careful at that level. Obviously, demand below here at 202, 203. But I don't know. I mean, this is there a long opportunity? I think the only long opportunity is back here at demand, right? Is this 203? But transparently, I don't even know how much I love this chart because it's rejecting 207, right? It's rejecting. Do you want to be long at demand after a chart rejects major supply? Even though this is demand here at 203 and it is your long spot, theoretically it is your long spot, I don't really love the fact that it's rejecting off big supply. So I'd be careful of Apple today. I just don't know what it's going to do, right? I just don't know what it's going to do, right? Just let's be careful of this. Obviously level here at 203, level here at 207, big supply, big demand, right? So let's move on. Let's go over Tesla. Tesla's chart, 367 is your level, right? I mean, this is your level in front of us, guys. It's 367. If you're looking for a trade today, 367 break, retest, long side opportunity, right? Watch that today. That could be it's an aggressive trade. It's an aggressive trade, right? But it's your level today here in Tesla. 367, 367. That's your level here in Tesla. 367. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go over some other tickers. Let's go over Meta. Yes, let's go over Meta. So on the Meta chart, the level to watch out for this morning is going to be simply this 660 level, right? So, I mean, not really 660 though. So what did we say yesterday, right? Yesterday we talked about the golden level, right? The golden level was 643, right? 643 was that golden level. And we said, guys, the level, we said it on Tuesday, we said it on Friday, we said it on Thursday, we said it on Wednesday, we said it on Monday, we said it like 6 days in a row. And people probably thought I had some sort of mental problem, right? Because I kept saying 643. And finally, what happened on Meta was we did what, right? And this should prove to you levels matter, right? Look at what happened yesterday. We broke and held above 643, a big upside move. What did we do? Naturally, we pulled back to our demand here, 643. We sat at demand for how long? How long did we sit in demand, right? This was when I was long SPY yesterday too. Market was just sitting in demand for so long. And of course, it took probably 3 hours. Finally give you a little upside move about 643, right? So hopefully you guys had the level here in Meta. Again, that was the level. It was 643, right? Now today's session, what I'd watch out for going into our morning session is I'd also watch again for 643. 643 bull side play. If we lose 643, don't go long. If we lose this level here, and this is important, I'm not going to sit here and just spam levels and say let's continuously long Meta 643. If we lose this level, bear side back to 627. So watch 643 today, long spot there. If we fail, then short back up lower. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for joining in. It's a good day today. It's an NVIDIA day today. Enjoy your session, right? Hopefully the action today, intraday, is better. Obviously, action yesterday, intraday was quite terrible, but today, let's look for some trend-based entries, and I'll see you guys all for live trading. If you trade with us, the link is in the description. Bye, guys.